Dick Grote, Discipline Without Punishment, the proven strategy that turns problem employees into superior performers. Welcome to the world of Discipline Without Punishment, DWP, a progressive approach to managing employee performance that abandons the punitive and outdated methods of traditional discipline. In this book's summary, you'll discover the power of DWP's positive and responsibility-based techniques that transform problem employees into superior performers. The author, Dick Grote, presents a simple, respectful, yet effective system that focuses on employee commitments and fostering personal growth. Delve into a step-by-step guide that revolutionizes performance improvement discussions while preserving employee self-esteem and reducing long-term human resource costs.
Discipline without punishment. Traditional progressive employee discipline systems are punitive and outdated, tending to focus disproportionately on a few problem employees while neglecting a majority of good ones. Imposing disciplinary measures on everyone often creates fear and resentment, leading to counterproductive outcomes like excessive terminations and bad morale. In response, a growing number of organizations have turned to a positive, responsibility-based alternative coined Discipline Without Punishment, DWP. Developed at a Frito-Lay plant, DWP aims to maintain an employee's self-esteem and give them responsibility for their own performance. It demands real commitment and resolves problems and performance issues while reducing grievances, turnover, and human resource costs. Revolutionary employee discipline. In traditional progressive discipline systems, management focused on building a case to fire employees instead of addressing undesired behavior. However, a new approach called the DWP system emphasizes recognition of good performance and acknowledges employees who meet expectations. This new system focuses supervisory time on employees who do their jobs well while using positive reinforcement for better performance. Under the DWP system, non-superstar employees are not ignored and are taught to be productive, thus developing self-discipline and high standards. This approach reminds problem workers that it's their responsibility to decide to work by guidelines or seek employment elsewhere. The manager can create a well-disciplined organization if they recognize and reinforce good performance and confront and correct poor performance. When an employee fails to deliver, the employer clarifies expectations, offers incentives, and gets the worker to agree to meet expectations. If the worker does not fulfill the agreement, they can choose to leave. The DWP system puts the emphasis on addressing the root cause of undesired behavior rather than building a case for termination. The art of handling disciplinary action. Disciplinary action is a vital aspect of effective management. The success of any business depends largely on the productivity and commitment of its workforce. In this book, the author introduces a system for fixing performance problems that consist of progressive steps. The system includes informal and formal actions that managers can take to resolve issues that do not warrant immediate termination. The first step in taking disciplinary action is to identify and categorize the problem as related to attendance, performance, or behavior and conduct. The informal stage of the system includes positive contacts and performance improvement discussion. The positive contact helps to recognize good performance and provide positive reinforcement to the employee, which is essential for motivation. The performance improvement discussion is an opportunity for the manager to correct inappropriate behavior without placing a written record in the HR file. The manager should contrast the person's performance to expectations, and identify whether the failure was due to a lack of knowledge, an obstacle, a need for feedback, or a need to impose consequences to elicit performance. The formal stage of the system includes Reminder 1, Reminder 2, and Decision-Making Leave, DML. The Reminder 1 is the same as a performance improvement discussion, but it is a formal disciplinary transaction. The Reminder 2 is a planned discussion that clarifies company expectations, identifies shortfalls, and reiterates the employee's responsibility. The decision-making leave is usually a one-day paid leave, suspension with pay, to give a staffer time to decide if they are in the right job and want to quit or comply with expectations. The book emphasizes the importance of effective disciplinary documentation that provides complete information about the problem itself, the history of the problem, and the discussion that occurred between the employee and the manager. It also provides tips on how to approach a DML meeting, such as reviewing all the facts, making notes, assessing the worksheets and memos from previous meetings, setting up a good time and place with the appropriate witnesses or representatives, and notifying the employee to attend. The author stresses that termination is the most appropriate response for offenses that are so grave that the employee has not earned the right to rehabilitation through the organization's disciplinary procedures. The last step of the system is for the employee to come straight to the manager's office the morning after the DML and explain their decision. The employee must sustain the correction over the long term. In conclusion, this book provides a comprehensive guide for handling disciplinary action with a focus on progressive steps and effective documentation. It emphasizes the importance of positive reinforcement and the commitment of the employee to change their behavior. The approach outlined in this book will help managers to take appropriate steps to resolve problems and maintain a productive workforce. Communicating effectively in disciplinary discussions. Managers face unique challenges when engaging employees in disciplinary discussions. This book offers valuable tips on how to communicate effectively, avoiding insubordination. Disciplining employees is a challenging task that every manager must handle. Throughout the process, there are several conversational challenges that managers may face when communicating with employees. This book provides valuable insight into specific scenarios and challenges managers may encounter. It suggests that managers create lists of business-related reasons to help persuade employees to comply with company standards and procedures. When an employee feels badgered or blamed, using "I" statements can help to establish cooperation, while avoiding accusations. The book advises against excessively detailed explanations, allowing the employee to speak and take part in the process. Tangential arguments should be deferred, and the focus must remain on the primary disciplinary matter. Additionally, managers should encourage employees to make a genuine attempt at change by asking detailed questions that elicit true commitments. Insubordination, such as silence or intimidation tactics, must be addressed with clear indications of disciplinary action. In closing, the book recommends concluding the discussion with a quick recap and thanking the employee for their commitment to change. Effective communication is key to resolving disciplinary issues. This book offers practical and effective solutions for managers faced with these scenarios. The role of a disciplinary system. A well-functioning disciplinary system can incentivize employees to meet expectations and improve overall performance. When faced with the need to terminate an employee, it is crucial to assess whether the system has failed or if the termination is necessary. Letting unproductive employees linger can hinder long-term success and prevent loyal employees from flourishing. A thorough understanding of the disciplinary process can ensure a fair and just outcome for all parties involved.
As we wrap up our journey through Dick Grote's insightful book, Discipline Without Punishment, we can now appreciate an alternative approach in managing employee performance that revolutionizes the way organizations operate. By fostering an environment that acknowledges the positive contributions of employees, correcting poor performance, and making employees take responsibility for their actions, DWP presents a powerful system that leads to impressive long-term results. With its fair, comprehensive, and respectful process, DWP becomes an invaluable tool for improving workforce morale, eliminating counterproductive disciplinary actions, and creating a more harmonious and efficient working environment. Embrace this innovative approach and watch as your organization soars to new heights.